for me, it was a lot about the instructors, and they changed me, or helped change me, change my perspective, and I really wanted to also show people that feeling, that empowerment, that, you know, I don't know, it's the physical, but it's also that emotional. They were just super, super nurturing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that.
And knowledgeable. Knew
Yeah.
what they were talking about, you know, and just to deepen, for me personally, to deepen my practice, you know, to understand yoga better, to make the connection between mind, body, and spirit, you know, and to be taught that that's what it's all about, and to learn that, and through, you know, finding about the history of yoga and the sutras and all this other stuff, learning all of that, because the training is broad, you know, you learn about the body, the mind, the spirit, it's a broad training, it's not just, you know, getting posed.
Not at all. For me, it helped me through a lot of like injuries and things, and it helped me connect. When I started to practice, it helped me start. It was the only place where I feel safe, and I got to a point where it was my safe place, and I wanted to help other people make it their safe place, and I knew I had to give it back. So when I was able to get it into my schedule, I was like, I'm doing this this summer, and it's gonna happen.
That's great. So it's all great. So when you just start into it, and you know, I mean, some of us want to be teachers, others, you know, you want to come in and like you were saying, you know, just deepen your own practice. It's so great to go into a training like this, and like the immersion itself is going to be amazing because you just drag everybody together, hold them together, and just build them back up. And the amount of information you're going to have in that few days.
And the connection that you have with the immersion. I had a 2-week immersion. And
so
it
did
dies.
I.
You guys got me all easy. That was amazing. The immersion was the coolest part. It was exhausting, it was challenging, it was eye-opening, it was...
And we all go back.
Absolutely. Because there's also a release that happens after that 4 days, and I think everyone would say the same thing. You're exhausted, but I was able to find release. Something changed.
Something did change.
There's a shift. There's a definite shift.
There's a shift.
Regardless of, I'm sure 2 weeks was crazy, but even after just the 4 days.
4 days, because it's so intense.
Yes.
And it's so, you know, and the information that's provided, and the way that Dr. John is in that portion of it, and now the way they communicate to you, it makes you feel like you could go out and cure cancer.
That's true.
And that's true. It's incredible, you know. They're like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. You know.
And there's like 14 people that I took it with, I believe.
Oh yeah, 14
And like, didn't know anyone. And it's like by the end of like the second day, you're like a family. You know off each other, and you know you feel like
Encouraging.
There's a connection that's made that I feel like Fire Chamber brings to everyone. And it just like makes you guys one, like right away.
Yeah, there's a connection built there for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So those are all awesome stuff. What's like, I mean, it was great, we all loved it. What's the biggest thing you got out of it? Like just one, if you could pull one thing from that training that really drew or resonated with you, what would it be? What do you think it would be?
To me, prior, I think I would take yoga more for like a physical aspect and like a competition. Like I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this. And through it, I had a shift that like it's not about that at all, and it's like about you on your own mat and what your body is doing today, like your mind and body to like, listen to yourself. And like that was one connection instead of there being for other reasons, like why am I practicing? I think it brought that out for sure.
For me, it's about acceptance. Just accepting myself for the way that I am, my physical abilities, my physical self, and then setting that aside and accepting the person that I am.
It's honoring yourself. We
Right.
tell our students to do that all the time, and that's so challenging.
What does that mean?
Self-acceptance is huge.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
because they're, you know, I tell this story sometimes to people, and when we were doing our teacher training, we had an immersion. This one particular night, the room was packed with teachers and students, and this woman came in, and I remember this so clearly, and she came in late, and she didn't have an ounce of spare flesh on her body. She was in phenomenal shape, and she asked me to move my mat, because she wanted to be in front, right? And this is what the training did for me, to be honest with you. I got so caught up in the fact that she was better at yoga than I am, she looked a million times better than I am, and all of that surface nonsense, which means nothing, which means absolutely nothing. And I took a beat, and I realized, Angela, it's got nothing to do with any of that. You know, it's about acceptance, and it was amazing. You know, for me, that moment changed. It changed me. It was during the immersion. It changed it for me. You know, it really, really did.
It lends itself to that release that you were able to release that.
Yeah.
And for me, I went in knowing I wanted to teach. I craved it, but I left with this understanding of this deepening of my practice, which I never really thought, because I was practicing since 2007, but I don't know that my practice really changed all that much, because a lot of students go in and they do the same thing. They're not even listening to the words sometimes. It's, I know what comes next and I'm going to go there. And it allowed me to actually listen. And the more that I started to listen, especially after the teacher training, the more I picked up on how different instructors gave the different cues. And some of those different cues are really what propelled that posture really to the next level. So for me, it was really taking that away and becoming more aware of the instructors and again, just have to deepen in the practice, which is not something that I initially intended for the teacher training.
So now you're with all that. You're all teachers, management teachers, wonderful. What's life now as a fire shooter teacher?
It's awesome. You first.
It's amazing to give back to what you once had as like that original person coming into the studio. Like it helped me come see myself and be okay with myself. And one of the things that I wanted to do for others is to help them on their mats. Not only on their mats, but like with their own bodies and with themselves and being okay with themselves. And it's so nice to hear someone like come up after class and say like, this hit me differently today in your class, or this, even if it's about posture, about mind, whatever it may be, knowing that you're helping or changing someone in the slightest way, they might not even know yet. That like someone sleeps better, but they don't really realize that's because of something that happened in your mind and body today. It changes you physically and mentally. And I think it's amazing to give that back.
Yeah, service. It's like service, you know, and you see people come in, and you know, on my Sunday 12:30 class, I have built up a little bit of a group of people because they come at that specific time. It's the only time they can come, and they're working so hard, and you see the change start to happen. You know, and you watch them and you talk to them about what's going on inside their body, because a lot of people, you know, I don't personally look at yoga as a workout. But people do. That's the culture of the day and age we're in. You know, everybody wants to be that person. So, but for me, it's about what's happening on the inside. You know, cutting off the blood supply, releasing fresh oxygenated blood, and telling a person that, and telling them, if you do this and you build a sustainable practice 2 or 3 times a week, guess what? You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. Your skin's going to be better. Life is going to be better. You're going to wake up and you're going to be able to take the principles of this off your mat and apply them to your life. And you do everybody that favor when you get on your mat, you know, as soon as you get to bring it to them. So when I get to do that in a class and watch the progression of the students in the class, it's incredible. You know, it really is.
You know, and this whole idea of service, when a student comes out and they're like, I never got my forehead to touch the mat before, that was so awesome. Yeah, it's just a good feeling. And a couple of things, I was talking to some other teacher training graduates that you know, were in the teacher training with me, and it's also this idea, I go in some days and it's been the worst day at work, at home, whatever, and I teach and I come out and I feel so much better. So you may be doing that for them, but it's amazing. They also do that for you, and that's also an unexpected, you know, perk, which is just, it's tremendous.
Well, when you do for others, you know, there's a little bit of a selfishness there. Because you feel so much better. When you do for another person, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, yeah, I can do this for this person, and you know, it definitely makes you feel better when you give of yourself to other human beings, and that's what we do as teachers. When you go out here, you know that.
I think that's why it comes back. It's that whole idea you put into the universe, and it comes back to you.
in a way that you've never really maybe anticipated that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, incredible stories. And I know we're all in different places too. Like some of us are full time here, and then we have part time because you guys have jobs and you're actually working full time. I'm here. It's so cool. That's like the best thing ever to do this in your part time. Yeah.
It's not a job.
It's not a job.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I think the passion of being a yoga instructor creates such an amazing yoga instructor.
Yeah.
So, we just give that to our students.
And it's the environment too, you know, the fire shaper, like you
Yes.
say, the environment that we get to work in as teachers, and it's just like and we watch out for one another, and we help each other, and like we take each other's classes so that we can, you know, give that little bit of support, and also, hey, guess what? I learned this today from you, and vice versa, you know, and what it comes from the top down. So how everything flows down is how we are, right? So
They adjusted my panel once.
Yes.
It was amazing. Other people, like, it was just that one little thing, that tweak that you gave. I was like, oh!
Yeah, we help each other, you know, and the training, the good thing about Fire Shaper, I find, is that you do the teacher training, but you continue to learn as you continue to teach.
Oh, absolutely. It's always instruction never.
Yeah, never ends. And there's such incredible, yourself, Susie, Karen, there's some phenomenal teachers, and you go to their classes and you learn, and you're like, oh, like Susie just did a workshop, and it was incredible. My class on Sunday was so much better because I took that workshop on Saturday. So we do that to get more workshops where you learn more, you grow more, then it can only get better for everybody.
That's the best thing about yoga. I love fashion. There's never an end.
Yeah.
There's never an end. You're always learning one thing new.
Constant, yeah. To infinity.
And beyond.